Excited to be back and appreciate everyone coming out. I hope everyone had a great time. This is a demonstration of the effectiveness of residential fire sprinklers. And what you see here are two rooms that are identically outfitted with similar furniture. And one side, as you see by the signs, has sprinklers. The other side does not. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and light the non-sprinkler side off and just see how it reacts to fire with the fire load that's in there. And it's a simulation of a bedroom or something like that would be a typical room in your home. The sprinkler side, on the other hand, when we light that off, that there you'll see the flames will come up and you'll hear a sound. If you're really watching closely, the sprinkler that's in there is a concealed type sprinkler. So if anyone had a chance to look at it prior to the starting, it's just a round white flat plate. And that plate will actually fuse and fall off prior to the sprinkler operating. That sprinkler operates at about 155 degrees where the plate will fall off at 135. So if you keep an eye out, you may see that falling. Some things that'll happen as we get started will be our smoke detectors. We have one in each room, and you'll hear that. So that's some of the things that you as a family or an individual can practice at home is a fire escape plan. Fire escape plan is critical to escaping a home, especially one that does not have fire sprinklers. You only have a few minutes. As you'll see, this non-sprinklered side will go to flashover in about roughly 3 minutes. If you see the piece of newspaper laying on the floor, keep an eye on that. As it gets close to flashover, that piece of paper will ignite, and you'll know that it's about that time. But again, back to the fire escape plan, everyone should exit the home and go to a area of refuge. You should know where that is so that everyone goes to the same location. If you got 5 in your family, you want to know that all 5 are there and that one doesn't run back in and cause a problem getting back out. As you're exiting the home, you want to make sure you close the door behind you. That's really critical to the success of the firefighters when they get there. If you can contain that fire to one room, you'll have a lot less damage in your home. There's a program, a national program called Close Before You Doze. And I practice that at home every night when I go to bed. I close the bedroom door. That gives you a much, much better chance to, one, recognize something happening in your home and respond to it before any smoke or heat actually gets to you. That can be a part of your escape plan to get out of there. We do a lot of these burns across the United States, and they all end up about the same, with going to flashover, sprinkler operating, and it's really a great testament to how effective they are. About 4,000 people a year die in residential fires, and residential fire sprinklers, they increase your chances of surviving by about 80%. Only about 70 people in the last 8 years have perished in homes that had sprinklers. And typically, if there was a failure of the system, the number one reason is due to closed valves. All right, well, let's have some fun. You guys ready to go? Yeah. We're going to start this thing off. I'm not ready yet, Anthony. Hold tight. When we start this thing off, we're going to start a clock over here. It'll be a count up clock. You'll be able to see the time that it takes for things to start happening. So, with no more said, you ready to go, Anthony? Fire it off. Hold up on the clock, I'll let you know. So in this room, we have a waste paper basket. Okay, clock. You see there's a waste paper basket. There are no accelerants in this room. It's a waste paper basket with newspaper that I just went across the street and bought because we forgot it. And then there's a typical curtain on the wall and a couch or a love seat and a sitting chair. So you hear the early warning, things that are important, early warning, early suppression, and fire department response. That's the key to survivability in a residential fire. We're at about 30 seconds. You can see there's a little white smoke happening now. Got flames licking up the wall. Starting to get a little warm here where I'm at, and things will accelerate. You'll see the smoke will start to change. It'll start to get angry. They all react a little differently, and some go quicker than the others, but they all really, for the most part, do the same thing. We got a fire going up the wall also. Really just the curtain right now. Eventually the chair will get going and the couch. We got a little fire on the couch now. That fire will continue to grow. There's a fallacy that fire doubles in size every 30 seconds. That's really not true. They grow at their own pace, but once they get to that flashover point, there's no turning back. Keeping in mind that typical response time from a fire department is anywhere from 6 to 10 minutes. That's after you've woken up. If the fire started, you wake up, you get out of the house. Hopefully you have a cell phone. You make that call, you're 3 or 4 minutes in at least before it gets to the point of making that call to the fire department. Then they have to mobilize and get to your house. You're 10 minutes in, and you'll see after this that the house didn't have a change. So we're right about 2 minutes now. You'll see the smoke is starting to get a little darker. We got both the couch and the chair are starting to become involved. And as it goes on, the smoke will get a lot darker. The key to, again, closing the door before you leave is really important. To contain that in a home that did not have doors closed, that smoke goes everywhere. The smoke gets your lungs, and when you're in a fire situation, the smoke gets into your lungs and basically burns your lungs in from the inside out. All right, now we're starting to get a little more warm now. We got some blacker smoke starting to happen. 2.5 minutes. This one's moving a little slower than a normal fire would, but things will start to accelerate now in about the next 30 seconds.
So the worms ate it?
Yeah, it's starting. We're just about there. Watch the paper. The paper's getting warm. It's getting wiggly. It's starting to move. There you go. All right, we'll let it go for a second. That's flashover, folks. We're talking about 3 minutes almost exactly for that room. Everything is spontaneously combusting now. All right, guys, let's go ahead and hit it. Let's have a big hand for the fire department, guys. North Fork Fire doing their thing. We couldn't do this without them. Remember, early warning, early suppression, and fire department response is the key to surviving a fire like this. These guys, be careful of that falling plastic, fellas. That stuff gets hot. So we're going to let those guys do their thing. They're going to get in there and overhaul this a little bit. Make sure. Let's give them a big hand, guys. Thank you all. Good job. Great job. So we'll give them a few minutes to do their thing. What we're going to do next, this room has a single fire sprinkler in there.